Welcome back, everyone. It's the afternoon edition of Weather for Weather Geeks on this very, very busy Thursday, a very snowy Thursday in northeast Ohio and western Pennsylvania. As I record this at about 2:20 p.m., here's what the radar looks like. Now, we had a really healthy band of snow that moved through around noon, 12:30. That real heavy snow is now pushed over into west central Pennsylvania. This is east of I-79 now. The snow that we have around the valley is a little lighter than it was earlier. It's still accumulating, of course, but we're starting to see a few slots where not much is happening. One down here towards Dover, another one up here in parts of Trumbull County, and then as I zoom out again, you can kind of see the back edge of the steady snow that's out here west of I-71, Sandusky running down to Dayton. This is where the steady snow ends, for a little while anyway, and then there's kind of a secondary little batch behind that where it is still snowing around Indianapolis. So we're going to see this for another couple of hours, and then we are expecting a trend, kind of a downward trend in the intensity of the snow, the scope of the snow as we head towards evening, towards sunset. I think after sunset, sure, it's going to snow lightly, but most of our, pretty hefty accumulations will be about over by that point. Take off the radar for just a second because I do want to show you the temperatures out across the Midwest. This is where our air is coming from tomorrow. Right now it's 0 in Minneapolis. It's way below 0 up north in Canada. And then you factor in the wind and check out the wind chill numbers out here in the Midwest, anywhere from 6 degrees below 0 reading in Rockford, Illinois, to 14 below in Iowa, that is. And it gets even worse, of course, as you head up into Canada. All of this is coming our way tomorrow, so the weather they're having in Iowa right now is what we can expect tomorrow. It's probably going to feel like minus 15 in most of the Mahoning and Shenango valleys as you get up tomorrow morning, Friday morning. Now, we don't have a fresh set of snowfall accumulation reports just yet, but the most recent version of this is on this map here. We had a report of 2 inches down in Austintown, 1 inch up towards Warren, 3.3 at the Youngstown Warren Airport. But again, this map is already a little outdated now. We've added on to these totals since it was last updated. I think a lot of us have gotten a pretty solid 3 inches, 3.5 inches so far. We'll get another inch or 2, or maybe 3 at the most, before evening. So our forecast is going to work out pretty well with most of us getting 3 to 6 inches or so before all is said and done. Let's bring up the future radar here. I'll show you how things will progress as we head through the rest of the day today. Let me zoom in here. All right, so let's start this off with about sunset this evening, about 5 o'clock. This is when that back edge of the steady snow is pushing through, and the model's not picking up on much back here. I do think there'll be some light snow that's still occurring. Cleveland, Worcester, Mansfield at 5 o'clock this evening. It's just a little too light for the model to pick up. It's certainly the steady accumulating snow, the back edge of that's pushing through as the sun sets at around 5 o'clock or so. Let's roll this forward then to, let's say, about 10 o'clock this evening. Not much happening at this point. Again, the model probably not picking up on enough. There'll be some scattered snow showers in this zone through here. It's not out of the question with some lake enhancement that northern Trumbull County, maybe northern Mercer County, gets another inch or so out of some lake enhanced bandage during the course of the night tonight. I think for most of us, snow's not really going to accumulate much after dark this evening. So we go into the day tomorrow. I'll fast forward to about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. on Friday. And at this point, the radar should be pretty quiet. Maybe there's some flurries around. I do think there'll be kind of a scattering of light snow showers or flurries in this zone that, again, the model's not quite picking up on. But one thing for certain that is, it is going to be awfully windy and awfully cold as we get up tomorrow morning. The wind is going to be howling Friday morning. This is a plot of wind speeds. Maybe the strongest winds are over in Pennsylvania still, but there's going to be enough wind in northeast Ohio and western PA to send those wind chills plummeting for Friday morning. Well, how cold are we talking? Here's the GFS model projected wind chill map for daybreak on Friday, and this has us down to about minus 11, minus 13, this sort of thing. Friday morning, and it's not going to get much better Friday afternoon. Wind chills might get up to 0 by the end of the day, but probably no higher than that. So it's going to be a remarkably cold day Friday, and it's going to be, not helped at all by the wind. That is for certain. All right, let's talk about the weekend. If you watched my video from this morning, I talked about how Saturday is going to be a quiet day, and that still looks to be the case. This is Saturday afternoon. Nothing going on across eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. In fact, we'll see some sunshine on Saturday. Sunday, the next system approaches. This is the system that has the coldest air we've seen in 20 years behind it. Before we get to that real cold air, we do have some precipitation to deal with, though. Probably not much Sunday morning, aside from maybe a a real touch of light snow. I think snow chances increase as we get into the afternoon and evening on Sunday, and especially then as we get into the overnight hours Sunday night. Some pretty beefy-looking snow looks to be occurring during that time frame, say between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. from Sunday evening into Monday morning. How much snow are we talking? I could see where we get another few inches out of this. The European model here has the least of all of our models. It gives us about an inch with higher totals back towards Cleveland. I think this is underdone a little bit. I do suspect that we're going to see a zone that extends out into here of maybe 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 5. These are just first stabs at this point. We'll be refining the forecast, one storm at a time, please. But just an early heads up that we're talking maybe enough to shovel and plow again late Sunday and into the overnight Sunday night. And then the mother load of cold comes down. Here's the weather map for Monday afternoon. Look at the wind. Look how closely packed the isobars are. There'll be some snow flurries still flying around Monday afternoon, and the cold is just going to keep charging in. By Tuesday morning, it's still going to be breezy, probably not as windy as Monday, but still breezy. Notice the lines of equal pressure here are still packed fairly tight together. And Tuesday morning, shockingly cold outside. The European model and other models are still very consistent on the ideas here Tuesday morning of low temperatures, somewhere in the ballpark of minus 20 possible for Tuesday morning. The minus 22 seen here in southern Trumbull County, this could be overdone by a few degrees, but it's not going to be overdone by much with fresh snow on the ground and this type of air mass. Minus 20 is not something that we're going to rule out. The all-time record low in Youngstown of minus 22 set in 1994 may very well be in jeopardy. I still doubt we break it, but we might come awfully close to it Tuesday morning and then perhaps again Wednesday morning. A little too early to say if Wednesday morning is going to be any colder than Tuesday morning, but certainly Tuesday morning we're going to be well down into the teens below zero for actual temperatures, and it's not going to take much in the way of wind to send those wind chills Tuesday morning down to maybe minus 30. We're talking about dangerous cold here. We're talking about the kind of cold that can freeze your pipes, insulating pipes. If your house is prone to frozen pipes, good idea. This is the kind of cold where if you're outside for any amount of time, more than a couple of minutes, if you have any exposed skin whatsoever, you're going to get frostbite. It's the kind of cold that if you need to take your dog out to use the bathroom, a minute or two at most, and then you got to get that animal back inside because it's just too cold. Just use common sense. So we've seen this kind of cold before, but very rarely, and I do think that this type of intense cold is a 1 in every 20-year type of thing, and sure enough, it's been exactly 20 years since we've seen temperatures as low as minus 18, minus 20 degrees here in the Mahoning Valley. All right, that's the Thursday afternoon edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Be sure and check out my updated forecast on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11. I'll have a fresh look at exactly what our forecast is going to say as far as the overnight lows next week. So it's a don't miss edition of 21 News tonight, both at 6 and 11. I'll see you then.